Welcome to Tech Blueprint, a window that lets you know the latest technology news in the world. Due to the US's expanding restrictions on AI chips, NVIDIA's advanced AI chips were unable to be exported to China. NVIDIA eventually obtained a sales license for H2O exports to China, but due to various reasons, these chips ended up as inventory. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang recently stated publicly that NVIDIA's sales to China have dropped from 95% to zero. However, a more serious problem is that Microsoft's CEO recently stated that advanced US AI chips may also become inventory. As everyone knows, artificial intelligence has rapidly gained popularity globally in recent years, with tech giants around the world building various types of large-scale AI models and purchasing large quantities of AI chips. This allowed GPU giant NVIDIA to ride the wave of this trend. First, we must acknowledge that NVIDIA's AI chips are indeed advanced, and it has long since built a very comprehensive CUDA ecosystem. Therefore, initially, many Chinese companies purchased large quantities of NVIDIA AI chips, allowing NVIDIA to once hold a 95% market share in China. However, this didn't last long, as the US, not wanting to see China's AI development, imposed restrictions. The US has repeatedly tightened restrictions on AI chips, forcing NVIDIA to export only stripped-down versions of its AI chips to China. However, these restrictions are no obstacle for us. We no longer need them. Otherwise the H2O chips wouldn't be going unsold. This is because AI chips, unlike CPUs and SoCs, are not used individually. They require many chips to be assembled into a large model. Therefore, in June of this year, Ren Zhengfei stated that a breakthrough could be achieved through stacking and clustering. Furthermore, Huawei's Ascend AI chip is very powerful, with strong supernode and clustering capabilities, allowing us to completely eliminate reliance on foreign countries. However, this clustering approach not only requires a large number of AI chips, but also a crucial issue: sufficient power supply. Some might say that power supply is not a problem for us, and this is indeed the case. In recent years, China has been vigorously developing hydropower, nuclear power, wind power, and solar power, resulting in abundant power supply. We have long since moved beyond the era of power shortages. Now, we not only have enough power for our own needs, but also export it to neighboring countries. The situation is different for the US. The US power grid is severely aging, and its power supply is clearly overburdened. This is also a problem Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella addressed in a media interview. He stated that the current issue facing the US AI industry is not an oversupply of computing resources, but rather a lack of sufficient electricity to power AI data centers. Nadella explained that the current challenge is that some GPUs in inventory lack sufficient power. More precisely, there is a lack of environments where they can be plugged in. This power shortage will lead to a large number of AI chips becoming unusable inventory. It's important to understand that the US has been pushing forward with many large-scale AI projects to achieve leadership and win the AI race against us. These include OpenAI and NVIDIA's announced 10 gigawatts data center construction plan, the 10 gigawatts data center construction plan with Broadcom to deploy self-developed AI chips, and the 6 gigawatts data center construction plan with AMD, among others. However, data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration shows that the U.S. is expected to add 63 gigawatts of electricity this year, with these three projects alone accounting for approximately 41.3% of that. In other words, the growth in U.S. electricity supply is far from meeting the growing demands of AI. The issue of insufficient AI power supply is not only being raised by the Microsoft CEO, many experts in the U.S. are discussing this problem. The key issue is that the problem of insufficient power supply for AI in the U.S. has already emerged. In early October, Dell stated at a public conference that while demand for AI servers has been strong in recent years, some customers have already delayed deliveries due to power issues. Dell's CEO stated that customers, including OpenAI, have cited insufficient U.S. power supply, and many have used this as a reason to request delivery delays, stating that sufficient power supply is necessary to resume deliveries. An even more serious problem is that the competition for power resources among U.S. AI data centers has caused ordinary residential electricity prices to soar. In response, OpenAI has appealed to the U.S. government to add 100 gigawatts of power generation capacity annually, stating that power supply has become a crucial strategic asset for the U.S. in its competition with us for AI leadership. However, the U.S. power grid is severely aging, with a significant gap in both power generation and transmission capacity compared to ours, and this gap is widening. Even if the U.S. wanted to upgrade or improve its power grid, it wouldn't be a problem that could be solved in the short term. In response, some foreign media directly commented that the U.S.'s fig leaf has been torn off. Who would have thought that the AI race would ultimately be about power?